When Claire first saw the painting at the flea market, she couldn't look away. The artist had captured every detail: the wide, sorrowful eyes of the boy, his tear-streaked cheeks, and the way his small hands clutched at the edge of his ragged shirt. It was unsettling, yet beautiful in a tragic way. Without thinking, she bought it. Something about the boy's sadness called to her. "You're really buying that?" the vendor asked, raising an eyebrow as he wrapped it up for her. "People say paintings like this bring bad luck." Claire chuckled, brushing it off. "Oh, I don't believe in superstitions." The painting fit oddly well in her small living room, hung above the fireplace. But as the days passed, Claire began to feel strange about it. Whenever she entered the room, the boy's sad, unblinking eyes seemed to follow her. At night, she could swear she heard the soft whimpers, like a child crying in the distance. She told herself it was just her imagination, but she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong about this painting. It wasn't until a week later, when strange things started happening around the house, Claire began to worry. First, it was the cold draft that seemed to come from nowhere, making the air around the painting feel icy. Then her lights flickered for no reason, and objects would be out of place when she returned from work, though she lived alone. One night, she woke up in a sweat, her heart pounding in her chest. The faint sound of crying filled the room. She strained to listen, but the noise seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere all at once, surrounding her. She grabbed the phone to check the time. 3 a.m. The crying grew louder, clearer, and it seemed to come from the living room. Against her better judgment, Claire stepped out of the bed and tiptoed down the hallway. The crying was unmistakable now. A child's sobs. She reached the living room and froze. The painting. The boy in the painting was crying. His mouth, which had been closed when she bought it, was now twisted in silent wails. The tears looked fresh, glistening under the moonlight. Claire's breath hitched. Her hands trembled as she turned on the light. The room lit up, but the crying didn't stop. The boy's expression was still frozen in sorrow, but the sound was coming from him. She backed away, heart racing, and rushed to her bedroom, slamming the door behind her. Claire tried to calm herself, telling herself that it was all just a dream, that she was overtired, but sleep didn't come. The sobs echoed in her ears, long after they should have stopped. The next morning, she decided to get rid of the painting. Enough was enough. She grabbed the frame and yanked it off the wall, but as she did, she noticed something strange. The wallpaper behind it was scorched, as if the painting itself had burned the wall without anyone noticing. Her stomach dropped. She tossed the painting into the trash bin outside and went to work, feeling a sense of relief. That night, Claire was jolted awake by the smell of smoke. Her eyes shot open and her heart skipped a beat. Flame licked the edges of the bedroom door, and thick black smoke filled the air. She coughed and scrambled out of bed, adrenaline surging through her body. The fire was spreading fast. Her house, her entire life was engulfed in flames, but she could barely see through the smoke, her vision blurring as she stumbled through the hall, desperate to find a way out. But as she reached the living room, her blood ran cold. There, above the fireplace, was the painting, the crying boy. She'd thrown it out. She'd watched the trash collector take it away, but now it was back, perfectly intact, with the boy's eyes fixed on her, his expression twisted in grief, and his tears looked like streaks of fire burning through the canvas. The flames roared louder, as if feeding off the painting itself. Claire screamed, but the fire swallowed her voice. The last thing she saw before the flames consumed her was the boy's face, his tears glowing like embers in an inferno. When the firefighters arrived, there was nothing left but ash, and the painting. While this story is fictional, it's based on a real urban legend known as the Crying Boy painting. Many believe that this painting brings misfortune, particularly house fires, to those who own it. We'll be diving into the eerie mystery of this legend in episode 4 of our podcast, Zumundous. Don't miss it.